Now that we know a little bit about the different species and types of pocket pets, let's talk about how we actually take care of them. They can be pretty easy. We're going to start off with rabbits. Sorry, I went a little too far. So really, you really want some sort of solid floor. Solid wood works really well, especially for large breeds of rabbits, like we're talking over 12 pounds. What ends up happening is if they're sitting on like a mesh or a wire floor, their hocks end up getting sore. So solid floors really help prevent that. You want to make sure that you're replacing your bedding weekly, like completely replacing it, like taking everything out and putting fresh bedding down. But really, especially with big rabbits, you want to clean the cage every day. Make sure you're scooping out poo and anything that's soaked with urine, that sort of thing. Smaller rabbits, you can clean their cages about once or twice a week. Our bunnies in the classroom get cleaned twice a week. And you can really control any urine odor with baking soda. Baking soda is like the eighth wonder of the world. It takes care of a whole bunch of different things. You can sprinkle baking soda kind of in the corners where urine kind of builds up. And as long as you're replacing your absorbent material on a regular basis, it completely takes care of that urine odor. You can actually raise rabbits outside pretty much year-round as long as they are protected from any winter winds. You want to make sure that you're providing air movement, especially in our North Carolina summers. You want to make sure that once that temperature gets over 90 degrees, you've got some sort of fan or ventilation system set up. You can also use a frozen water bottle. That'll help kind of keep them cool in hot weather. They can get to cold water. You want to make sure that ventilation is there, but you also kind of like an in moderation type of thing. You want to make sure that you're avoiding cool, damp drafts. And then if you're looking to breed your rabbits, you can actually simulate daylight, and that they're long day breeders. So the more daylight you have, the more likely they are to breed. So if you have 16 hours of daylight, or if you're able to set up artificial lights for 16 hours, that helps promote breeding. So this is the type of water bottle that you would typically use for a rabbit. It's a vacuum type of water bottle, and they clip on the outside of the cage. That way you're not covering your rabbit in water. It also helps prevent spilling. Spilling would basically spoil your bedding just like urine does. They really need a lot of water. 16-ounce bottle is minimum, and 32 ounce is much better. You run a lot less chance of them running out of water with a 32-ounce water bottle. As far as feeding rabbits, the pelleted commercial feed works really well. They have these clip-on galvanized metal self-feeders that help save space and time. You don't necessarily have to fill them every single day. You can also use fruits, vegetables, and leafy greens to help avoid any gastrointestinal problems. You want to make sure that you're feeding them hay regularly. That helps kind of keep their gut cleaned out. But any sort of grass, hay, oats, corn, oatmeal, wheat germ, bits of carrot, carrot tops, apple slices, bananas, pineapples, and also green beans are all perfectly acceptable. You want to make sure that you're not feeding young rabbits leafy green vegetables because of their high water content. It'll actually cause them to get diarrhea. All right, hamsters. So a size for a single hamster as far as cages goes is, I don't know what that funky symbol is. It's supposed to be inches. 10 inches by 16 inches by 10 inches tall. The cages have to be gnaw-proof. So commercial cages have stainless steel tops and bottoms, but plastic floors are basically designed so that they can't gnaw through the floor with their teeth. You want to make sure their water bottle hangs outside the cage to prevent gnawing issues, or you have to protect it with a metal cover, one of the two. You can also use aquariums. They make really good cages because they're not going to gnaw through glass, but they allow the gerbil to see out, and they're super easy to clean. As you can probably imagine, the glass sides on an aquarium are significantly easier to clean than, say, wire. You can use either metal or plastic exercise wheels. Plastic can be destroyed because they chew on them, but they're quieter. The main issue here is that hamsters exercise all night long. They're nocturnal animals, so they're going to sleep during the day and they're going to essentially work out at night. So if you're going to have a hamster that is being kept in a bedroom, that metal wheel is going to keep you up at night because they're going to run on it all night long. Hamsters do need plenty of fresh, clean bedding. You can use paper confetti or paper strips. You can also use wood chips or shavings. Shavings are probably the easiest to get and probably most popular to use. But you can also use hay, straw, and cotton to absorb any of that urine. And it also gives them something to chew on. Hamsters need something to chew on and keep their teeth kind of in check. As far as feeding them, again, you've got those commercially prepared hard pellets. That's really the easiest thing to use. If you're going to mix their ration, you want to make sure that it contains seed, lettuce, dried peas, beans, and nuts. You also want to make sure that you're avoiding sudden changes in the diet. That really goes for any animal. Sudden changes in the diet can cause gastrointestinal stress. You also don't want to overfeed greens and fruits that can cause diarrhea. You don't want to leave any soft type of foods in the cage to spoil, and you want to make sure that food is not getting stuck in the hamster's pouch. So not only can that soft stuff spoil in the cage, but it can also actually get stuck and they can't get it out. Special treats would include things like sunflower seeds, crickets, and grasshoppers. So gerbils are more active and actually need more space than hamsters. So multiple gerbils will need 36 square inches of floor space per gerbil. Overcrowding can actually lead them to cannibalism or eating each other. Gerbils can jump, so you want to make sure that your cage is covered with wire mesh. You don't want to use cotton or wool for bedding. It can actually cause a blockage in the digestive system if the gerbil eats them. Cardboard tubes, you can use it either from the toilet tissue paper or paper towels. They make excellent temporary tunnels and they can chew on them without any issues. You only want to use solid plastic exercise wheels. You want to avoid metal with gerbils because any wheels that have spokes on them can actually snag the tail of the gerbil and break them or cause other injuries. So you want to make sure that your wheels are solid plastic. As with most of these pocket pets, you're going to find that the commercially prepared hard pellets are just easy. You can buy them pretty much anywhere, and you can just give them to your animal, and it's done. It's great. If you are going to mix your own ration, you want to make sure that it contains seed, corn, oats, wheat, and barley. Again, don't change the diet suddenly, and don't overfeed any greens like lettuce, cabbage, carrots, turnips, and beets. It can cause diarrhea. Gerbils really like birdseed, and it adds variety to their diet, but you don't really want to feed oilseed like sunflower because it can actually make them get fat. You really don't want an obese gerbil. They really don't drink a whole lot of water, unlike your rabbits. An 8-ounce drip type water bottle will work the best for them. All right, we'll talk about rats, and then we'll cover the rest of them in the next video. As far as feeding rats, you want to use your commercially prepared hard pellets again. You can add fruits or vegetables. Rats only consume about 1 ounce of water per day, and you can actually add vitamins and minerals to the water to help them with their nutrition. All right, we will stop there. We will cover mice, guinea pigs, chinchillas, and ferrets in the next video. As always, let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns.